Welcome to what is going to be a very exciting game. This is the Texas Stampede versus the Team Germany. And with me is Bob Lujano from Lakeshore Demolition and Rob Rowan here, X-Able Sports. And this should be a good game, man.
Definitely, and I want to thank you, Rob, for allowing me to be a part of this day's activity. The Stampede, outstanding team. They got 4 Paralympians out there with Hogsett and Norm, and from Japan, Shimakawa, of course the leader, the big hitter, the general, Mark Zupan, Mr. Murderball himself. So,
yes, Mr. Murderball.
So it definitely should be...
his idea to put you in the box, is that what happened?
Yeah, well, it actually started with Hogsett.
Hogsett
kind of came to me and said, hey Bob, let's jump in the box. And Zupan kind of helped perpetuate it.
Your fame is preceded you here, so
thank you.
So glad you're behind the table here. So
no doubt about it. And the German team, I'm kind of not sure at times what they're going to do. They do have their big guy Oliver they want to get the ball to, but I just find at times Oliver's too high, and for him getting down the court, if you can prevent that, it seems to throw the team in a little bit of a loop.
And number 2, the Hammer.
Andre
Leonhard.
He's definitely their fastest player, definitely their most experienced player, a guy you really want with the ball. If he gets turned loose, it could cause some trouble for the Stampede.
And their low pointer, Peter Schreiner, a really tough player. And then their other player up there, number 2, Andrew Leonhard, and of course Oliver the Octopus.
That's right.
And 14.
George does all their ball handling. And Schreiner, the low pointer, is really the heart and soul of their team. He's very intelligent, very bright, on top of the game, as your best low pointer should be, no doubt about it.
We didn't see a lot of George at the knock and roll. They were using.
Yeah, he wasn't there.
No, so it's they had Wolfgang Mayer bringing the ball up and Nasser, and so here we go. The ball is in play, and you're welcome to a great game here. And already we've got the hits happening.
Right away, Texas causes a turnover, jumping off, getting it going. And that's kind of a great way to start a game. Even though they lost the tap, they were going to lose the jump because of Andreas because of Oliver being so tall. But they got the turnover, and now they'll have possession. So this
will be a good way. This is a tough team to stop too, Texas. We saw how dominating they were. The only team that had any chance with them was you guys, and you beat them quickly. There we go.
Yep, Zupan starts it off, and they kind of like doing that. They'll take the ball to the one side, get Norm to trap, and then Zup will take it all the way around.
He's got such patience, such leadership out there, and along with such speed that they have from Shimakawa. And there comes Oliver. Look at Shimakawa trying to knock him back. It looks like it's going to be an easy score for Germany on Andre there.
Yeah, they got Oliver rolling up the court. Once he gets going and past midcourt, he's really sets their whole offense.
What a big chair, too. Isn't that an amazing chair? Well, Shimakawa in traffic with Hogsett. He finds a hole. Norm Leidick. Look at him blocking. Shimakawa is just a piece of work. Probably the fastest out there in the world.
Oh, definitely. His speed and acceleration, going basically inline to inline, probably in about 6 seconds. And there's not going to be no problem getting the ball into Oliver. Other than the problem now is getting him stopped. And I think if Texas, once they start to stop him, you'll see a lot more turnovers coming.
Time's an issue, and he gets it across in time, and it looks like it's going to be an easy score.
The thing is now that Oliver took it all the way down, now he's got to get back on defense, and he's not quick enough to get back.
Right
now Germany's switching to pressure the ball, and now see if Oliver can play some defense.
Yeah. One thing, try to reach in there on Zupan, not much luck, and there he goes across with plenty of time to spare.
Oh yeah, he's so strong. Now see the key now was for Texas to keep Oliver up high, and they didn't get a chance to do that.
No.
They do have Schreiner out of the play. Texas runs a very good high-low lineup. High-low being they got 2 guys that handle the ball and 2 guys that are primarily to pick. Germany does have a balanced lineup, but the key again is Oliver. Oliver has to have a big game.
And we saw that you guys stopped him pretty effectively.
Yeah, my job was just to prevent him from getting back down the court and to start and to get the ball offensively. Once we were able to do that, that really kind of prevented him from being a part of the game at all. Factor.
Ball into Mark Zupan from Norm Leidick, who both of them were players of the game at the knock and roll. You were one of them.
An interesting defensive setup here, Rob. Germany puts their low pointer in the center. It's something you don't see very often. And I'm thinking the only reason they do that is to get their offense initiated. As you see, Oliver is already in position to get the ball. Peter was there to pick. It didn't work. Now Peter goes off and helps Leonard, and Oliver's rolling.
So, in a sense, what you're saying is that they're already playing for the next point there.
Exactly.
And there's an easy one by Andre.
See, Hawks is going to try to prevent Oliver from getting into the paint if he can.
Pressure on Mark, but they don't lock him up. Shimakawa coming up, and once he gets rolling, oh, look at that. Crosses it nicely. Zupan, and that's going to be an easy score. That's a tough duo to match up with.
No doubt about it. Either one of them can handle the ball. Both of them need, at times, two players to stop them. You have that out there, and then you got the two best pickers in the game with Norm and Scott. So it's very difficult to stop that team.
Oh,
we had difficulty stopping Mark.
Oh, nice hands there. Oh, some nice hits. A lot of pressure around Oliver right now. Boy, he finds the open man there, Andre, and Andre's going to score.
Yeah, Oliver's so tall, you're not going to really get the ball away from him unless you prevent him from getting the ball, and then maybe hope that he brings it down.
He's strong.
Yeah.
He's strong. He may not be the fastest, but he's strong.
The thing also is his endurance. How long can he last? We keep thinking I think Texas is wanting him to try to go up and down the court as much as possible in order to tire him out.
Well, they do have another couple of big men there that they can bring in. Isn't Bauman a pretty big guy?
Yeah, I don't think he's as experienced as Oliver, but this is the reason why we'll have a tournament like this, is to see if they do bring him in and to see if he does work out for them.
Seems like they could be working harder to really lock him up a little bit.
Yeah, I eventually see Texas changing their strategy, either Zupan or Shimakawa taking him one-on-one. They didn't get a turnover.
Up in the air and a turnover. Zupan gets it, and off they go. That's about one of the first big turnovers here of the game. He's the score. And with 4 minutes and 30 seconds left, 2-point lead for Texas, 7-5.
And that's rugby in a nutshell. You get turnovers and you score, you're going to win the game. If you get most of those and score them.
Otherwise, you're just trading baskets.
Exactly.
Okay, they got a couple. Mark missed that backwards pick block there, but
Peter Schreiner doing some great work there on Zupan. Oliver's giving the ball up as he gets close to the goal line, and that's kind of good, but got it right back.
They're waiting the time.
Looks like Texas set up in the key defense.
You guys beat them by 10 points when you played them yesterday. Oh, look at that. Nice taught.
Scott Hodgson.
Scott Hodgson with the tap, and it went off of Andre's hand, and Texas gets the ball, turnover.
Smart player, Scott.
So was one of your things to have Kirkland on Oliver?
No, it was my job to take Oliver.
You picked him for that, huh?
Yeah, we knew we weren't going to defend him getting the ball. The key was him getting up the court, and I'm pretty good at going side to side, so that was my job. To prevent him from getting down the court.
Look at that speed. Look at that speed. So 8-5, turnover hurt. As I was saying before, Germany ranks 7th in the world at this moment, and they finished 6th at the knock and roll and 6th at the Rattlers International. And a timeout forced on Oliver and the German team by some very good pressure. They were running out of time. He was 31 seconds left, but there was nobody open, and he was surrounded. I guess.
Well, Texas made that switch. They went ahead and put Shimakawa one-on-one with Oliver, and he just wasn't able to beat him up the court. Oliver had to call the timeout, and I expect Texas to switch to that defense. Either Oliver or Zupan or Shimakawa taking Oliver one-on-one. And once Oliver stops becoming a threat, I think Germany's going to start going downhill pretty quickly.
Yeah, it's tough to. Now, Team Germany has been really playing a lot of players that they've had, and they've been really, this has been, I guess, in some ways more of a chance for them to really air their team out and see what they can do.
Yeah, that's the purpose, I believe, for the whole tournament, with the Paralympic teams being here from Germany, Canada, Great Britain, Sweden, and New Zealand, and basically just to run different lineups, to see how this guy works with this lineup, and I think really that's kind of the main crux of this. Of course, they'll put their main lineups in as well, but doubt if they run them very long, maybe a period.
By the way, we watched on the other court a great ending to a double overtime game of New Zealand, Canada. It looked like Canada was going to win that. There's a score by Oliver, but New Zealand hung in there and won the game. It could have been a little bit of an upset there. I kind of feel like New Zealand has a little bit better team there.
Yeah, well, New Zealand is ranked second in the world, so pressure's on them.
Yeah.
Look at Oliver playing some defense. This will be interesting when it happens. Zupan got the ball. That might have done it.
Well, Shimokawa knew that Zupan would find an open spot.
Mark is hard to
He's
stop.
got good hands.
He's just hard to stop.
Yeah.
He'll either out physical you, push you around. He doesn't have much of a reach, but once he gets an inch on you, he basically has a mile.
Oh, look at the hits there. Now it's so interesting. The competition between Lakeshore and Texas is huge. And then on the other hand, you are fellow members of both the 2004 team and be doing it again in the future. So you really have to have like a love-hate relationship with people like that, right?
Well, you respect them. I do. I respect those Texas guys. Coach Gumbert just doing a heck of a job putting that program together. And my first team in Atlanta had Zupan, so he and I were both teammates. And when we were winning championships with Lakeshore, we were beating teams by big margins. But it's good to see a team like Texas come on and then contend for the championship. And it'd be boring if one team was winning all the time, even if it was my team. But
Shimokawa answers Andre's score from Germany, so we're 10-7 with 2:38 left in the first period. And Oliver in traffic there with lots of people.
The spacing isn't very good, Germany.
They've got 5 seconds. He's got to find somebody. Throws it to Oliver. Oliver throws it to Shimokawa. I don't think that was the sequence he had in mind. I think Shimokawa has the wrong jersey on for that sequence there. So.
Just good pressure by Texas. The 15-second count was about to expire on Germany, and Oliver made a throw where he thought Andre was going to be, but he wasn't.
4-point difference now with 2 minutes and 16 seconds left. And wish you were able to stick around for the second period of this game, but you have to prepare, I know, to play a big game afterwards. So you guys are playing Britain.
Yeah, that'll be a big test for us because Britain is one of the top teams in the world, and they'll have their Paralympic team out there, and Big Ross and Troy. So, like I said, it's fun playing against good competition, and you really want to see how good your team is when you face high-level caliber competition, which Texas would be in Portland.
Well, Portland really took it to Britain in that game. They swarmed, and the defense was very tough. And it was reminiscent of some of the defense I saw at the knock and roll that you guys put on. You made this Texas team work very hard. There were quite a few teams that you shut down with that defense. So it should be an interesting whether you'll be able to do the same for Britain. But the other part is you guys, playing Portland.
At 3 o'clock.
So that I think will be an interesting game also because two teams that are strong on defense.
Yeah, they're Paralympians. I know a lot of those guys playing against. Yeah, good hit by Shim. So I mean, whenever anything is played at an elite level, whether it be rugby, basketball, football, it's the most simple of the game. The simple aspects of the game will really be highlighted. Whoever can get the turnovers and score, that's basically it. Teams that usually aren't that good, they'll have trouble just bringing the ball up. They'll have trouble just passing to each other.
Norm Lyden with a nice pick to block there.
Exactly. It's Texas half court at its finest. Zupan going far left, Norm getting the steal on the far right, and he brings it all the way back.
He was coming up thinking he was going to sneak up on that team, but they turned around and Oliver gave him a good hit. But we'll go the other way now. Now we watched this Texas Stampede Division II team play in Tampa. That was interesting. Score by Oliver, 12-9, minute 30. And it was interesting to see the big hitter was Jesse Honnold. And he would come in there and bang and try to open the door for Jay Speck to be able to free up. So in a somewhat different style of play, they were just more of a pounding kind of thing than this finesse that you see out there, speed and finesse.
Yeah, I mean, Jesse's a huge guy, and you definitely got to use his size to, start hitting people and moving people around. But yeah, with Simakawa and Zupan, it's really a speed game.
Yes.
They don't have much height. Jesse gives them height, but sometimes you got to slow the ball down for that height to get there.
Look at that.
Standings picked by Hogshead.
Norm
and Scott are like just the two best at sealing out the corner. That's why they're Paralympians, just outstanding athletes.
They are. They work very hard, very hard.
Yep.
Well, look at this. Do we have a turnover? Oliver picks it up. Those long arms come in handy.
See, Germany has their guys too bunched together. Uh-oh.
The race is on. Andre gets it. Simakawa on him. Norm there. Again, pressure. Try to find an open man. Looks like 54 seconds left. 13 seconds left on the shot clock, and they score. So now we have, if Texas is really smart, they're going to leave very little time on that clock or score fast and try to score twice. Let's see what they do here.
Looks like they're going to try to score quickly.
Oh, that door was closed. Mark in trouble. A rare situation there.
This might be this problem with Texas. They don't have height, but they have Zupan. And sometimes he's a one-man key defense breaker.
Now back there, going to go for the last shot. Not enough of a hole there. And there it is.
Norm doing it again.
With 5 seconds left, Mark just waited and looked and probed and probed and probed. And then he found that hole and like a little needle and thread, he found it, and that was it, done like a dinner.
Great patience.
Done like a dinner. And into pressure with 7 seconds left. The German team, they have a chance to score. Nice hit there. 1.2, I don't know. I think it was stopped defensively.
Good play by Zupan.
All right, so Rob Rowland here with Bob Lejano from Lakeshore Demolition. You also work very hard at this facility. I know you do a lot here.
Yeah.
I appreciate all you do for the sport and all you do for all the other sports that you work on. And,
thank you. I definitely appreciate you guys being a part of rugby. I definitely think this is a start of something beautiful. We can just keep going. And I definitely appreciate you allowing me to be here and open to help out again.
Oh, yeah.
Appreciate it.
This is Rob Rowland at Cable.com. Be back for the second half. Score 14-10.